Good afternoon. Welcome to your favorite current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. We apologize for commencing the program slightly behind schedule. My name is Egosa Agmulao. On today's program, we'll be taking a look at the outcome of the 2019 presidential elections. Of course, we know that the incumbent president, Muhammadu Buhari, has been declared winner of the 2019 presidential election. And he made some inroads. He won in certain states that he has never won. And that actually gives credence to what we'll be discussing today. Is he a new face in the democratic process in the country? Okay. Joining me to do the analysis today, I have with me Pastor Ewosa Omori, who is also the Senior Special Assistant on Religious Matters to the Edo State Government. Pastor Ewosa Omori, nice to have you on the program.
Thank you, Edulite.
Okay.
Thank you, Ewosa Agbola.
Yes. Okay. Well, Pastor Ewosa Omori is also a regular face on the show, and so we'll be getting his thoughts on this very important issue. President Muhammadu Buhari won in 19 states, and that includes some states he has never won. Nasarawa. He has never won in Nasarawa. He has never won in Kwara. And this time he won in Kwara, and he won in some other states. He won in Ekiti, and he won in Gombe, he won in Yobe, he won in Niger, he won in Jigawa, and he won in Kaduna states. Other states include Bauchi, and of course, Lagos, Ogun. Kano, his home state, Katsina, Borno, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara. Well, Pastor Ewosa, are you really surprised with the outcome of the presidential election? We'll start from there.
Well, first and foremost, let me first congratulate Nigerians for giving Buhari a second chance.
Okay.
President Muhammadu Buhari is an enigma politically.
Okay.
He's a Democrat to the core. In the sense that many of us may not understand his kind of politics.
Okay.
Because somehow we feel that he should play the politics of do or die. But if you understand his approach to it, it's very glaring that he's a man, he went to Imo State, he took his candidates up, he said, vote your conscience. He went to Ogun, he took guys up, said, vote your conscience. He goes to show that he is a Democrat to the core. In Rivers, he was never allowed to fill the candidate. He never bugged. In Zamfara, he was not allowed to fill the candidate, he never bugged. But unlike the predecessors, they will not take kindly to it. They will ensure that their candidate is featured in those elections. He goes to show that the man is down to earth. Now let's look at his antecedent. Muhammadu Buhari, he may not have gone to a political institution like a Center for Democratic Studies or Wood to have gotten to do what he's doing, but he has conscience embedded in his spirit. In the sense that, number one, he has shown to Nigerians that politics is about give and take. And more so that he's a man as far back as many years. He was governor, northeastern state of Nigeria. He was Minister of Petroleum. He even built 3 refineries. He was PTF chairman. And he has occupied sensitive positions of governance in Nigeria. But he never amassed wealth, as it were. But you look at the man that he contested against. The man he contested against, the only notable position I reason to, as it were, Director of Customs, and thereafter Governor of Adamawa State. From there, he was catapulted to become the Deputy Vice President of Obasanjo. Those are the only two positions he had gotten into. But today, his name is mentioned with wealth. To the extent that for him to even get the ticket of his party, he had to show it without flex.
We'll come back to you, Pastor Egosa. But let's actually listen to the pronouncement of the INEC chairman, the pronouncement of the INEC chairman, and of course, the certificate of return presented to President Muhammadu Buhari and his vice, Yemi Osinbajo. Let's quickly listen to INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood.
Buhari of the All Progressives Congress, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
Well, just joining us is a highly respected clergyman and analyst, Reverend Olu Aderigbigbe. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we are talking about the outcome of the 2019 presidential election, and we just got the thoughts of Egosa Omorui, who has spoken about the credentials of the incumbent president and why he's not surprised with the result. But let's get the thoughts of Olu Aderigbigbe. Are you surprised with the outcome of the 2019 presidential election?
Well, I am not too surprised.
Okay.
But also to the will of God prevail.
Okay.
I'm not surprised because when you lay a foundation, every builder wants to see that you lay it properly so that I can put another one on top. Okay. You don't start building from the roof. You start from the down.
Yes.
I think in fairness, this president-elect has laid a good foundation in some ways. He has created an awareness about corruption, not lip service. And he has also tried his best, because Boko Haram was almost taking over this nation. They have almost entered Abuja. And there's, two, it was the bold president that can tell the generals with their big fast stomach to leave Abuja's office and go back to the war front, which they did. So he has the courage to be able to direct the front. And I'm not too surprised too that he won because of integrity. You can be articulated. There's no articulation without integrity. That is area people can say. More so, people in position should guide their utterances. The man in question, the man that had won, talk less. Can find out that many atrocity, some foul languages, abusive languages, the man will not talk. But whatever he wants to do is inside. That's how a leader behaves. I think.
Okay, thank you for that. Like I said, we are looking at the outcome of the 2019 presidential election. President Muhammadu Buhari has been declared winner, but a lot has been unfolding. We'll take a look at the election proper, looking at the way Buhari won. So many people are really surprised that most of the northern states, he won overwhelmingly. That's surprising, Pastor Egosa.
You don't need to be surprised, number one, because number one, the man's name is just a household name. Let me just draw your mind to what happened some couple of weeks back. You know, it was made kind of a request
Okay.
that his posters should be printed, to be circulated around. He saw it and he struck it off. He said, "Which poster?" He said, "My name is a household name." Okay, poster, that is a waste of fund. He
But
said,
his poster was everywhere.
those were done privately, not from his source. I'm talking about making a budget for his campaign.
Okay.
You know, normally,
We are not privy to that.
maybe I just trying to let you understand.
Okay.
You know, you can make posters as a donation for the campaign, but it's not going to be made known in the air. Let's say Agbala donated 5,000 posters, but as a budget made, okay, sir, you know, we are going to make posters worth about 30 million naira for your campaign. No. I cancel that because number one, Buhari is a known name in the north, in the south, in the west. So I don't need all those things. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
so,
the campaign, he traveled
so
from
in the campaign,
state to actually canvass for
in the campaign,
I think
people said,
Okay.
the man does not have the capacity, does not have the strength to go around. But he traveled more than his rival. He went around all the states, almost all the states in the country. What was that? Just to prove a point that I have the capacity to still govern this country for the next 4 years. So don't rule me out. Don't conclude on me because God has not concluded it.
I think
Okay. Yes.
he won in the north.
Okay.
Basically, people should learn how to respect their own. It's politics.
Okay.
If you have a broken plate and you have calabash, and you say this calabash, nobody should use it, it's personally for daddy, your children will not toy with it. But when you keep your broken plate anyhow, somebody will use it anyhow. And that is it. People in the north, they respect their own. And they know and they trust him that this is our own, he will do for, and it also, there's no way, if you go to Katsina, the man will really work. And part of the north. But get to the south, we don't value ourselves. We use people as napkin. It is when you eat finish, you need napkin. With nobody, people, awareness have been created now. You cannot use me today and want to use me tomorrow. Because you used me yesterday, you dumped me. The people in the north, they know their people, they trust their people. But here, they will take your money, they will eat your money, they will baba you in the day, and they will mama you in the night. So Buhari had the confidence of his people, and the people also had his own confidence. That is why he won overwhelmingly in the north. That's my part of the campaign. Okay. Nobody did not spend money for poster. It's not a poster issue. Yeah. It's issue of confidence. It's issue of confidence begat confidence. Yeah. That is it.
Okay, now, Oluwade, before I let you go on that issue, now, so many Nigerians thought Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a northern. President Muhammadu Buhari is a northerner. So they expected stiff competition. But imagine, over 15 million for the president, over 11 million for Atiku Abubakar, and most of the northern states, the way he won was really shocking to his opponent. So, what do you think is responsible for that?
There is a difference between death and sickness.
Okay.
And you cannot compare what has been in place than somebody just, if somebody can come wholeheartedly. I think I sympathize with Atiku.
Okay.
Because I think he runs his mouth too much. If somebody can tell you that, whether you will kill me or not, I will sell NNPC. And that's the core. That's the core of the nation. That's the core of the economy of the country. And it's not too far. Yesterday, you beat a child because he threw away water. You remind the people because he threw, that's how he threw oil away yesterday. They sold NEPA to their relations. Obasanjo said it, that they sold NEPA to their girlfriends and relations. And I was told, I was not privy to that information, that it was irrevocable contract. If it is true, it is not done in the world. And today, if we now see somebody who kill you, who slap you, you will hail him. Up NEPA, you only have 3 hours, sometimes 3 hours. Some don't even happen for 3 of 1 week. Up NEPA, somebody is killing you and hailing him. Who are the source of the problem of NEPA? And those are the people like Atiku and Co. You can number them. If this man now in his campaign said, I will sell NNPC, some of those hands are dropped. If you sell NNPC, then we go back to kill. If you sell NNPC, we go back to problems. If you sell NNPC, he said, I will enrich my friends.
No, probably he had his reasons of...
he did not tell us the reason.
Yes.
You cannot defend what you don't know.
Okay.
So on that note, I think why
we believe that the issues of campaign affected
the issues of campaign, yes, and
the kind of comments,
the kind of comment type of thing gave him manners, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And if you interview many Nigerians, they will tell you they withdraw their vote because of that singular act.
Okay. Now, after the pronouncement of the verdict by INEC, now the certificate of return have been presented. Atiku Abubakar has also spoken. He has reacted. He has told Nigerians what he intends to do. And some highly placed persons in government, including the APC national leader, talking about Tinubu, they all spoke. Now, let's just briefly listen to them.
They do not add up at all. Let me say that I'm not speaking as a member of the People's Democratic Party. I am speaking as a Nigerian when I say that the electoral fraud perpetrated by the Buhari administration this past Saturday cannot produce a government of the people for the simple reason that it does not reflect the will of the Nigerian people. My dear Nigerians, it is for this reason that I, Atiku Abubakar, reject the results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Declare Muhammadu Buhari as duly returned by the majority of lawful votes. I am conferring with not just my party, but also with the Nigerian people on next steps, which will be revealed to the public shortly.
Today is for genuine Democrats, very genuine Democrats, to accept, respect the result of this free and fair election as declared. INEC has done a fantastic job. From our party, progress, development for this country, hope that is never been there.
For us in Nasarawa State, we are so happy that we are breaking the jinx for the first time in the history of the Third Republic or Fourth Republic. We have been able to have Mr. President win his election in Nasarawa State.
Through reflection of Nigerians and appreciation of what Muhammadu Buhari has done for the past 4 years.
The level of confidence expressed is so high, and it comes with a greater responsibility. And I believe he has totally resolved in his heart to ensure that the lives of the people of this country are changed in the next 4 years.
Okay, that's why we're back. We've listened to them, and for the PDP presidential candidate, is going to seek redress in the court. And let me quickly get the thoughts of my discussants on the show. President Jonathan conceded before the final announcement and congratulated Buhari. That seemed to be a landmark phone call, you know. But Atiku says he rejects the result. PDP says no, they reject the result, and they gave grounds for rejecting the result. They complained of what happened in Zamfara. They said there was no election in Zamfara. They said there was no election in Yobe. They mentioned some of these northern states, and Atiku Abubakar says he heads to court. Now, do you think he should have congratulated the president, or you think, yes, what he has said is in order, Reverend Lo Adele?
Well, you beat a child.
Okay.
You say he should not cry. Ordinarily, he must cry.
Okay.
And why should he congratulate him when he knows that he's still having some battle ahead? Okay. He don't need to pretend. But let us go to the battlefield. The second, it's a second battle. It's the judiciary.
Yeah.
And it's plainly somebody has been declared according to the constitution that is the winner and he has won. And somebody say, no, you cheated me. I want to go to the elders to talk about it. Good luck. So if you did not, anybody cannot be like Goodluck Jonathan, because there will be some Pharaoh that will not know Moses. That is it. So at this point in time, I think it's part of his right. Okay. Let him go to court.
To strengthen our democratic
process. Yes, that's democracy. It's not parliamentarian business. Okay. It's democracy. Let him go to court. And I pray too that the judiciary will be up to date according to how they're supposed to be.
Okay.
So he's right. If you like, you don't need to laugh when you know that something is inside him. Yeah. You don't need to congratulate him if you don't want to. Everybody cannot be Jonathan.
Okay.
Because everybody has his own reputation.
Yes.
Today, history will continue to remember Goodluck Jonathan. So if he said it's not, that is why his name is not Jonathan. His name is Atiku. Yes. So he let him articulate his own idea in court.
Yes.
So it is all right.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I can see Pastor Mori is willing to make comment.
I love what Reverend just said.
Okay.
Let him articulate his own position. But the unfortunate thing here is that, number one, it's only in this climb that we discover that people don't believe that there must always be a winner. You know, if two people contest for a position, you believe that you are the one who's supposed to be declared a winner. You know, in a civilized society, you know, you must have two kind of statements, acknowledgement, accept defeat, or a letter of, you know, expressing thanks to those who voted for you.
After all, Buhari went to court 3 times.
It's like what happened in Edo State. Our great governor, Governor Baseki, you know, after the presidential election result was declared, he gave thanks to the Edolites for still having faith in Buhari.
Buhari lost Edo State.
Oh, forget about it. See, the issue of loss. You see the margin, very slim, compared to the previous election. So in other words, he scored over 25% of the required minimum for the election results. Now, you see, there's one word I keep telling people. You know, Thanksgiving is an application for more. Haven't thanked the Edolite. He's equally telling them, do more for me. I have more election ahead. Now, the issue of him going to the tribunal. Now, Akpabio lost. Saraki lost. Dilo Benaye won. Akume lost. Dankobo lost. Sani lost. What I'm saying is that all these people are perceived winner before the election. But what happened to them? They all lost. They are not even talking about going to seek legal means of reclaiming whether mandate or non mandate. This is a democracy at work. So we must, as in Nigeria, we must begin to see things the way it ought to be. You must never continue to fight to make sure that you reclaim. Atiku is not a match to Buhari.
That's your opinion.
That's your opinion. Buhari can go to,
yes.
Buhari went to court.
Okay.
Anytime he lost, he went to court.
Yes.
And court said, no, you did not win. Okay. And he relaxed. And then as far as Supreme Court, Buhari, Atiku has a right to go to court.
Okay.
But that's what I said. It's good to be able to trust ourselves. One will not expect, if not because the Northerners, they have confidence in their people. Yes. They appreciate what that man did for them.
Yes.
But in the South, we don't. Look, you don't expect Omosedo to lose in Ovia. If you can see, call himself and his father another one. You don't expect Agbonaima to lose for what that man has done. But people have no confidence in their leaders apart from what they have done. So if anybody wants to go to court, let them go to court and let us see the draft played, and everybody will see it. Okay. If we have proper judiciary.
Yeah, because the judiciary is the hope.
It's the hope of the North. It is now actually, it is doing this body matter. We now discover that a judge can have a vote in his house. Is that his supermarket? It is selling.
No, sir. Late Yaradua, the blessed memory.
Okay.
He came up and made a very, very strong statement that the election that brought him into power was flawed. We are all still of history. Say the election that brought him to power was flawed. That means it was not genuine. But there are people who committed that election. They are still alive.
But here do I want. What I'm saying, I'm still maintaining my point, sir. You may expect what Obaseki did in this state, all road time. If not because of salt, you will eat oil. Or if because the oil, eat salt. When we have expected them in this area to vote Buhari because of what because most of us people have they don't appreciate. But the Northerners appreciate little thing, and when you appreciate little thing, you will get more. That's not the term.
So that's the way you interpret what has happened in this election.
Exactly, especially in this area, in this parameter. And that's what I interpret what has happened. They ran anywhere. Their ONS or whatever appreciated their people. They voted for their Obi because of what Obi did. Are you now saying that for this few years, this man stay here, we see the difference? If not because of that, because this man have done so, let us because of him. Because if Buhari had not won, Obaseki, he may win, but will not. The gone are the days when you still begin to bribe states. Before you can do anything, you have to carry some portfolio to Abuja. But by the grace of God, we are okay. Can we progress?
Thank you very much. Now, we'll continue on the program, but let's look at some of the flaws identified in this election. You mentioned the eastern part of Nigeria. Now, Peter Obi is the vice president candidate of PDP. He alleged that about 8 million Easterners were denied franchise. We are denied the opportunity to vote. Now, we also got some eyewitness reports of torturing, of some thugs invading polling units, burning ballots. We also heard of snatching of ballot papers. We heard of shooting. Now, and we describe this election as peaceful. Do you still describe this election as peaceful? Let's get Reverend Oluwadele.
I think we thank God that, to me, the election this year is better than the past.
How do you mean?
Because the killing in the last election was more. And found out too that it was people like in Edo State, you can be able to count some area of ballot snatching. And I think all of us have been praying, the Christian and the Muslim, that the blood of Edolite is not worth being put on ground because any politician. I don't think there are so many that are live. There may be mistake. There may be real one killing too. But when you compare what happened at the past to this present, I think we are getting better. And we use yesterday to compare today, and use today to look at your future. Maybe with mistake or whatever other intentional or normal that has happened, the next election will be more better. But I feel that the rate people thought that there will be war after the election, it was the tension, the sleepless night, and the Fiji, the men of God and women of God has kept to make this thing that the death of loss of life is reduced. There was death, yes, but not as people expect. And for that, I think this is a little bit better than it were.
Thank you. Pastor Murray.
Well, first and foremost, this election, as far as I'm concerned, was very peaceful.
In Lagos, there are allegations of burning of ballots.
It's not about Lagos. The reason why Lagos is like that, Lagos is like a mini Nigeria. You have all citizens of this country embedded in Lagos. And also, this issue of tribal voting came to the fore. And by extension, it now began to play kind of a counter issues. You know, they say, oh, the Igbos want to make sure they vote for Obi.
I think it's normal political.
But before now, it wasn't like that. Before it wasn't like that, because even in Lagos, the secretary of the party in Lagos, Sani Bobram. You know, so what I'm trying to say different is that election this year was more peaceful than the year 2015, as also buttressing the claim by Reverend Gbigbe. But that the way people were anticipating this year's election was that many people went to the market on Friday to go and stock their
Bought fuel.
That no, but from tomorrow, no out there because everybody will be indoors. But God just intervened.
You know, sir, with my labor days, I remember that when you call off a strike and you want to demonstrate, that's why sometimes we agree workers to stay at home.
Yes.
Because some sympathizers that cry more than believe, they will come out robbing people in the name of labor. That's one of the most of the strike. Labor asks people stay at home. Yes. It's not that they don't want to protest. So at the time of any protest, at the time of hunger, and some people are hungry. It's not because of normally politically there is 60% at tribal voting. The Yoruba man want to vote for Yoruba man, Benin man want to vote for Benin man. It's like when you travel to America or anywhere, you see a Benin man, Oteme, that's in politics. Yes. But because of rate of hunger, annoyance, and all that, so for any little mistake, the miscreants come into it and go, they are burning for a purpose to loot. It's not only because of election. They came there in Lagos and other where you see fire burning. They came because of protest. Some on anger. They don't know what is happening. But for they said, what is happening there? Yes. They set fire. Then when fire is, when nobody wants to stay to withstand fire. No. Everybody will evaluate fire. They don't have a mission to steal. They have already targeted themselves, carrying people's property. So you now say, in the name of, you must call the dog a bad name. That's what I think happened in some areas.
Okay. So we've identified some of these problems that marred the election, but that does not take away the beauty of the election. That's what my discussants have agreed, that there is room for improvement, and that this election
and they have done pretty very well.
Okay, you want to rate it? Yes.
No, for me, Mahmoud Yakubu's team, they have done marvelously well.
Okay, now when you say Mahmoud has done well, some Nigerians criticize Mahmoud, criticize INEC under Mahmoud. You see, that this year, this 2015 election, that Nigerians have witnessed too many void votes. What's your reaction to that? You see, too many void votes.
See, the reason why the void vote came on was because, number one, the number of political parties that were registered, there are too many. About 90-something or 70-something votes. And for people to put their fingers on those small, tiny ballots, it becomes so difficult because many people have written letters. Even a literate person also finds it difficult because there is common some level of naivety.
If not for God and being vigilant, I could have missed. Because there is identical names,
so many
like APC, there's DPC, there's APC, and all this. So if you are not careful and you are not really more informed, one, I think the reason there should be voters' education.
Yes,
giving to INEC to do not only
MAMSA or what have you,
orientation from
formation or what
from INEC. It should be part of their body system. They should concentrate before election, maybe 3 months to the election. They begin to tell people how to trumpet, how and which names. But they don't do that. It was done in a hurry. So if you go there,
I'm talking about using this figure.
You have 70-something names. How do you now, especially the presidential, you have to look for about 5. It takes me almost 5 minutes with level of my person to identify who I want to vote for. So if it affects me, what of my mother in the village that want to complete? And two, the Lord did not allow you, I may follow me. So that is why. So people trumpet in a very wrong form, and so when you close it to, it comes to another line. So actually it's better to avoid it than.
And apart from that, sir, again, the tension, there was a level of panic in the environment of voting. Everyone was tense stop. When you wait, I was over sweating. I will ask why. The man will ask me, why are you over sweating? I say, well, I don't know. Because to even get to that level to even go and vote, there's no pressure. You now vote to come out. So I believe that what happened was that number one, INEC did their very best, in the sense that they give all that it takes to make Nigeria see that election is not easy.
Okay.
To be conducted. Having postponed it earlier. So they have to put everything in place to ensure that the second run will not also become a big question.
Me, I scored the INEC a little bit on average.
Okay.
Because of voters' education.
Okay.
Secondly, I scored them on average because of the, what do you call it?
Ballot paper.
The ballot paper is too narrow. I scored them low because of the machine, what do you use?
Card reader.
Card reader. Sometimes, some of them, it delays. Sometimes we have about 70% success in card reader, but that was delayed. So in those 3 areas, I scored them low. And 2, I scored them low in the sense that you will see that in the presence of police, they were sharing money. We have the rig and the riggers.
Cash inducement.
Yes, cash inducement from all political parties, all. That's it. And INEC officers were there. And I scored them low because they are not firm in this direction. And police were there. So there should be proper guideline in this area because of future. It has happened. So I feel they are on my own mark. They are not 90% okay, but they are of average.
But don't give you 90%.
They are better than the past election.
They tried.
Yeah, we need to talk about this voter education. So much funds allocated to INEC for this election. And some Nigerians believe that voter education was not adequate. So what do you have to say to that, Pastor Murray?
You see...
were people sensitized enough on how to conduct themselves, on how to thumbprint, on how to avoid, after thumbprinting, maybe not allowing the ink to enter the other? Were they educated? Did INEC carry out its function properly?
First and foremost, INEC had a federal commissioner in charge of voters education. They have a director of federal voters education. So they have it down the ladder. What I believe was wrong is that at the state level, at local government level, it did trickle down. It did trickle down. Because that is the essence of having these segments of responsibility. Because if it has trickled down, if Oredo, for instance, I like have office in Oredo, and somebody in charge of voter education in Oredo goes around cities with mega and he begins to sensitize the people. People get to know. If a few days to the election, like what we're talking about, use this finger to vote. Many people say, no, they are trying to play pranks. No, that's not the finger. There was so much argument. Yeah. And people try to confer with INEC. INEC will say, no, you can use it, but all it's important is that make sure that you don't over-press it. But at the end, it became too late because it was not done at the right time. And I believe that what they have been responsible is that INEC have 4 years to plan for election. So amongst the things that they ought to be doing is that from day one, they need to be educating Nigerians about the voting pattern.
Okay.
And apart from that, the number of parties that are registered, there are too many.
The faults
There are too many.
mainly on INEC,
Yes.
the government, and the government of the states.
Okay.
Because and the party hierarchy or political parties.
Yes.
Because you don't have somebody head in absentia.
Okay.
I want somebody to vote for me. I should have my own town crier. Bakiso did it with a rocketed telephone on bicycle. Begin to campaign for him. So if every political party, if you can take that idea, telling their members, campaigning, look, we are no more 4, we are no more 5, we are now 70 something. Look at our own line is at this stage. This is how you are going to vote. If all political parties join INEC,
you know, they may not have the knowledge of how the ballots will be.
but at least they should let you know that this is how it
display a few weeks, so 1 or 2 weeks.
Whether it's a day to the time, they have the knowledge, they have idea how a ballot box or ballot box ought to be.
Yes.
Anywhere you see our name, this is how you are going to do. Use one finger use two fingers. They are hard to educate them, but because they are selfish, they don't want to spend money. It is true. They don't want to spend money and they want to gain. All political party, they don't want to release money, but they can release money for talks. That this is how to stop. If they can, you can bring people. It's part of employment.
Yes.
Call those who have no job, come, take social amount. You can even pay them 5,000 or 7,000. Those that are sweeping on the road. Are they not happy now? How much did they pay them? Pay them some money. It generates employment and credit to such government, credit to top political party. A party has employed 50 people to campaign for them. B party employ 100 people. It becomes part of campaign itself. To let for enlightenment. There's no small information. Anybody that is afraid to hear information is already dead. So everybody, what you can do is any problem. If those who are selling sugar or the chat card, they can hire people to go to dance, how much do you pay them? You are attracted by their dancing, by the type of music they play. So why can't they do the same thing and give people awareness? Awareness is what we are talking about.
Yes.
There's no awareness about this election, about how to vote. So it's the fourth one of INEC, where they want to conserve money. 2, it's the fourth on government of the day, whether state or local government or federal. It's the fourth of political parties.
Okay.
And the chairman of parties in any state, they don't want to spend money and they want to win election. And they want to use the same boy. The boy, if they have tried that, it will even free boy from carrying talk or anybody. Okay. What I know say at the end of my own awareness, it goes, if you are don't convert from me, I will be happy. It will reduce violence. Exactly. You now come and give me 2,000, and I said no, let me do what I'm doing. Because you allow them to cut awareness to the eve of the election. Okay. It's not the campaign.
Yeah.
How you have to do, the government will be happy, the people will be happy, and all this destroying or voiding papers will not be happy. Even if it costs so minimal.
Yes, voided votes.
Yes, it will
witness the number of voided votes.
Because the people are selfish. They are selfish. They are very, very selfish. They are buying cars for themselves for campaign. Where are the car now?
Okay, now, before we call it a day on the program, this issue of card reader, do you think it really worked well? We understand that there was more function of card readers in certain polling units across the country, Pastor Omori. Do you think we should still adhere to this card reader thing?
Card reader is a very wonderful way to check electoral fraud.
Yeah, but in some areas it didn't work.
You see, most of that, in my own case, I tried it 3, 4, 5 times because there was something like sweat in my fingertips.
Okay.
So he didn't get to go until about the 4th or 5th time.
Okay.
You see, everything about election is about patience. The card reader has helped. If you understand the time we started using card reader, it has helped to reduce to unnecessary tampering.
Okay.
Because the card reader will eventually now accept and give us the total sum of what votes have been captured. So if there is that automatically you cannot now go and now add, or else that would also lead to void votes. If you add to what Kenya have not accepted, automatically it's voided.
Yeah.
If you listen to the annex chairman, he says so. Most of those voided votes were a fallout of those ones that the candidate did not capture. So the card reader is very, very important.
The card reader system is okay.
Okay.
It gives room for
transparency.
It gives room for continuity.
Okay.
And it's better than last election.
Okay.
It may be next election too. Anything that has to do with machine, there must be some little fault. There must be some fault in it. And I think we grade it like my own way I saw it on television. Yes. I think maybe they are 70% okay. So we'll be looking for how to amend or adjust on the menu.
I was just coming to that.
Yes.
Now we have the state governorship election,
and the
House of Assembly election. Though in those states we're going to have House of Assembly election, not state governorship election.
Yes.
Now, what do you think INEC didn't do that they should do before the House of Assembly election?
As I will never cry more than believe. If INEC want this credibility, they should adjust, they should find one to make sure the materials arrive on time.
Okay.
2, that they attend to people instead of smuggling some people online, you know, though they respect some elderly, the pregnant and somebody, that's allowed.
Okay.
But also they should also maybe they reservice the machines that are not really working well, that this past a few days, they can still do it, you know, mechanically or whatever, so that there will be no more delay by top printing or whatever you want to do. That's the area. And also the umpires or different groups, they should really stand as an umpire, not as a source of another type of thing. So,
okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, Pastor Omorui, what do you think INEC didn't do in the presidential National Assembly election that they should do before the House of Assembly and State Government?
I believe the national chairman of INEC said they are going to review areas where they had 1 or 2 challenges. Well, I believe that this time out, it's going to be the issue of the corridor being reconfigured,
okay,
put properly in the, because one thing I believe that they were trying to complain about was that many of them, their charging power, you know, went down.
Okay.
And if it goes down, it becomes difficult for it not to begin to function properly. So I believe that they will be able to correct all those things and also ensure that they are on time.
Okay.
At the various polling centers, and also, like Reverend Riley said, they should check those who are involved in collecting of funds. You know, because if those can be addressed and arrested,
yeah,
they definitely everything will be in shape. Because really, to be honest, like Riley said, all the parties were bribing.
It was an open market.
It was an open market. Some give 5, some give 2,000, and just like that. And when you begin to do a thing like that, the police will just be watching, and it's painful.
Thank you.
You know.
Because of time, I must make it very explicit that the comments and opinions expressed on this program are very personal to our guests, not a reflection of independent television. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the program. We've had the privilege of having very highly respected clergyman, former Labour leader, Reverend Oluwaderegbugbe with us. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
And Senior Special Advisor to the Governor, Pastor Egosa Omorui, thanks for being a part of the program. My name is Egosa Agbolao. Keep a day with me next week. By God's grace, have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.